I was comfortable in Europe.
Gonna ride a bike? Woo. Yeah, it's a clean light.
We had a house, we lived in Belgium, we had everything lined up.
Yeah.
I knew people, I knew the paddock. I wouldn't say respected, but like I was a top 5 guy. To make the move to America, there was a lot of question marks. We were on our honeymoon in the Caribbean. We were like, do we get on a plane back to London or do we get on a plane to California? What do we do? It's not just a quick, oh, I'm just going to go and try America for a year. It's a big move.
It's squeaky.
Visas, green cards, all of this stuff. That's a huge change. And I'm like, what if I go to America and I suck?
You talk about a feel-good story. Max Anstie on that firepower Honda has been on it. He was in the 450 class, drops down to the 250 class. He's going to build that confidence back. The guy looks like a completely different rider.
Every day I wake up and I go outside and I'm in America. I just think, this is cool, and this is where I want to be, and I want it to last forever. I'm from Newbury in England, about an hour west of London, not far from Oxford. My dad raced Grand Prix for 10 years. I can never remember not having a bike. 6 years old, you pick up the magazine, you just see the lights in the stadiums, and Jeremy McGraths and James Stewart's and Ricky Carmichael's, and everything leads to, I want to go to America. I want to be under those lights and race in the stadiums. And there's not been too many guys that, I mean, obviously Dean Wilson, being from Scotland, having him as a teammate's been cool, but I definitely feel like there's not too many guys that come out of England to race Supercross especially. I was winning a lot of the European stuff over there, and when I was 14 years old, we made the switch to the US. So me and my dad, we packed the bags, came out to America and raced 2008, the full season of amateur. 2009, I started off as an amateur, and then when I turned 16, I raced the outdoor season for Jason Lawrence, actually. He was my first boss. And then 2010, I rode for Star Yamaha, and that was my first and only full year of Supercross, because then the next year, I went back to Europe. As soon as you leave America, it's so hard to get back. You get forgotten about so quickly. It's crazy, you know. I spent all that time always thinking, man, if I got the opportunity to come and race in America, I would regret not taking the chance to go back to what I feel like I wanted to do as a kid. At the end of 2019, I had a deal in Europe lined up. We came out to the States to get married. And right before the wedding, the deal fell through in Europe. The HEP Suzuki team reached out and were like, do you want to come and ride the bike? Just come and test it. And I said to my wife, and this was, I'm not joking, 2 or 3 days before the wedding, I said, can I go and ride a bike? And she goes, you're in the off season, you didn't even bring any gear. Like what? I'm like, let me just go and ride it. It's only an hour away. So we drove there a few days before the wedding, and I rode the bike, jumped on it, felt good, didn't know anything about that team at the time. That was my first season back in America, and I raced outdoors. I raced some Supercrosses for Suzuki in 2021, then I raced the outdoors, and then 2022 was Rocky Mountain KTM until that went a little sideways, and I was left without a ride. Had Martin Davalos and Yariv from the Firepower Honda team reaching out, and they kept saying, man, come ride a 250. Marty was like, trust me, it's good, ride a 250. And I was like, oh, I don't know, I've been on a 450 for so long. My last race on a 250 was 2016 Motocross of Nations in Italy. I was talking to my wife and she goes, just go up and ride the bike, go and test it, just go and see what it's like. And I said to Marty after I rode the bike, I said, to be honest, it's been so long, I have no idea if there's a good bike or a bad bike. I don't know.
Your fastest qualifier earlier today in the 250 East, Max Anstie. Ricky, I think we both felt he was going to be pretty good this year, but I didn't think he was going to be that good.
And man, he was class of the field earlier today.
Came back from the first practice and I texted my mates back in England. I said, did you like that? And they said, what? I said, you didn't even watch? They went, no, we thought it started in an hour. They completely messed up the times. I was like, no. I said, I just went P1. It was sick.
And think about 2 guys who spent many years in Europe. The 2 guys you're watching here, riding in the wet. Here comes Hunter Lawrence on Max Anstie. That was for second.
The one thing I really liked was the passion that they had. I mean, me being a little older, I knew the importance of having the right group of people and having the right vibe, the right energy, and the right people that work well together. I said, okay, let's make it work. So here we are, back in the 250 class.
He's basically resurrected his career. That is so hard to do when you've just been beat down. I mean, he had a rough couple years on that 450 class. And so to have that mental fortitude and strength to come back and do what he has done, that's what I really respect most about all of this.
we had our back up against the wall, and we came out with a podium, so I'm super happy. And
Hopefully I can keep going for a few more years so he remembers a little bit more when he's a bit older, but he's only 11 months now, so I just want to make him proud, you know. That's not sure if he'll be remembering much, but I will.
I love it. It's so nice to be up here. Supercross is great. Man, I love it.
When you look in the mirror and you realise there isn't always going to be a next race or a next year, you appreciate everything. Had I not had all those years in GPs, beating my head against the wall, having hard days, you would take it maybe for granted, or you wouldn't appreciate it quite as much. I don't know, I'm just enjoying it, I'm enjoying the ride, and I think being a little older is one of those things where you appreciate that, and you know that, yeah, your window isn't forever. I'm in a good spot, I'm happy to be in America racing Supercross and living the dream.